Trash to Cash Podcast, episode 151. How's it going? I'm Dave, the ADHNC Picker. With me, as always, is Carrie, the Americant Arbitrage, and Kevin, the Commonwealthy.
Salty. He's a little bit in a bad mood, I feel
He is
like.
in a bad mood. Kevin
I didn't listen.
disrespects the show on
I
the
put
reg.
messages out to both
Hurry
of
up.
you saying,
Let's
get this
start the
figured
live,
out.
and he's not there.
Get this figured out, and nothing.
Hold on.
Nothing
How am
figured out.
I supposed to get figured out a show with a guy whose number I don't have?
You're buddies with Carrie,
I called Carrie, and Carrie said it's fine. We're doing the draft
we
while
were
we
doing
record.
it the whole time.
but nobody told me. You had the conversation.
I'm
and
doing
nobody told me.
a fantasy draft with the Resell Information Network live. Because look, you know what's more important? Neither. They're both equally important. So I'm doing both.
Well, I don't know so much about the draft being that important. But either way, somehow Kerry
it gives me
managed
joy.
to accomplish his goal, which was to make sure Cincinnati Picker wasn't on today's show.
Yeah.
So he basically sabotaged.
I think he got upset
He
because I
sabotaged.
didn't mention him as one of my favorite Cincinnati-based pickers.
Was he in the
In fact,
show?
I question if he was even in Cincinnati. I didn't feel like it was clear.
Well, he's of a suburb of Cincinnati, from what I understand.
Does
He's
that
not in
count?
the
Because
city
you could be in
proper.
a suburb of Cincinnati and be in Kentucky, and that feels really wrong.
That is
You know what I
true.
mean?
It's right on the edge there. I
If
remember
you say
when
you
we yard
live in
sailed.
Cincinnati, but you're in Kentucky, I don't know if I can deal with that.
You could
That's
say
a
I live in
bridge too far.
Cincinnati, but you'd be lying if you lived in
Yeah,
Kentucky.
because you got to
And
go
that's
over
the
that beautiful bridge where the stadiums are, and they have that taco place where if Kevin's there, he'll buy you food every time.
We have
It's happened
so
every
much
time I've done it.
Cincinnati-based knowledge, and it's
We have
really
a lot of
we're kind
Cincinnati-
of flexing right now.
Yeah, guys, there's
yeah.
bridges. There's multiple bridges.
Little Miss
from
Q
Kentucky.
might live in that state, 50-50. I can't recall.
That was the place where Dave left tens of thousands of dollars worth of comics and only bought a small portion.
Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't know what you were
I
thinking.
still have not. You did too. You left him.
I
too.
wasn't invited. I was
Yeah.
at a thing.
By not being popular enough, you left him behind.
I was trying to get us an American Bubble Boy deal because Kevin's Supply Hut debacle, and you were out.
My God.
you were out like doing private picks, and then you came back, and then you went up to the room by yourself, going through your comics. But I don't think that's what you were really doing. You were finally alone, and we know what that means.
We learned that day. We learned something important. We learned that the guy who used to be as wealthy as a Kevin, but had some financial struggles, he was fun and large. And he was wrong about the comics. He gave me quotes of their values that were way below Rod's values, and Rod's values were correct. So Rod is the comic daddy, is what we'll
He's
say.
comic daddy.
Rod is comic daddy. So anyways,
we found out Logan Murky's alive, right?
yeah, we talked about that last time, Carrie. You've been drinking
did.
too much again. Yeah,
These two,
It's-
if you
this
haven't
cherry
noticed,
7-Up is really alcoholic.
it looks
Davis.
good. I saw that. That looks like a tasty
I
treat.
like it. Looks it's very
Yeah,
nice. I like it.
It looks nice.
I got
Kevin's
glare.
upset already. He probably forgot his little butt pillow and squished a hemorrhoid. What are you doing to the camera? Are you rubbing it?
I'm back. I'm gone. I'm back. Look
Okay,
at how
let's
much
just sit
nicer
here
that is.
quietly.
Look, there's no glare now.
Listen, we're
Look,
gonna go
now
on a
you can really
quiet
enjoy
strike
it.
till Kevin comes back. Shh.
I'll give you audio if you behave. Audio only. All right, not even audio. I'm out.
What's happening?
He left. He left the thing.
Just left. We're in
He
the middle of a
left it.
podcast.
He left in the middle of a podcast. It's
Some
very upsetting.
professionalism. Just a little bit of professionalism. This is the highest rated podcast in all of the Apple podcast
Oh, he
platform, I
came
believe.
back. See, he doesn't
look
ever
at this.
commit to anything. Look at this
that.
guy.
That was a terrible bit.
We don't even know
We
why
lost
you were
all our
mad.
audio
We
viewers,
weren't even talking
listeners.
about pooping.
I couldn't say anything. You
What do you
guys
wanna
just
say?
you
Well, do
just
you have anything
I
to
don't
say?
have anything to say. I just
That's what I
just
figured.
common courtesy. I didn't even want to be on the podcast today. That's why I got John to do it. I got it all set up so I could have a little vacation this week.
Okay.
And 20
2
I was
minutes,
gonna watch
2
Ferris
minutes,
Bueller's Day
uninterrupted.
Off
Kevin,
with my
go.
kid.
Yeah.
2 minutes.
No,
Give
listen.
Kevin
I
2 minutes. Let's give him
I
2
think
minutes.
this story arc of Kevin rage quitting the show would be great for our.
I know.
marketing.
Well, let's
It'd
just
be
do it.
great.
It wouldn't even
And then
be
just
a
like
story.
Kevin floundering, he's trying to do a podcast with J Ride, no chemistry, super weird vibe, and we're just going to the moon.
all about commons.com or whatever. It's like, this is the Commons cast. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to Shot Commons Podcast. You got junk, we sell it, I make money.
I'm here with Death Pile Picker and J-Ride Flips.
The problem, J-Ride Death Pile. The problem is you guys been doing it. You did a Dimdit show for an hour, and you don't even I can't even fit in here. I can't even get a word in.
You can fit in.
Sorry.
You gotta nuzzle yourself in between.
This is how we cope with the massive amounts of money we lost on that show, Kevin.
I did okay. You did terrible. But you didn't. Okay. We're doing a sports show, and you're bringing Squishmallows.
I didn't know you were doing a sports show. I'm not kind of the person who pays attention.
Don told you, pick a day, and you picked the sports show day. The other day, we were doing regular stuff with Kevin.
But Tuesday, I already had plans. I was playing dominoes with a friend. So, dominoes won out. I forgot I had scheduled. We had scheduled this.
Something Kevin tells us.
There's a game called Mexican Train Dominoes. It's a lot of the viewers will have heard of it, and it's pretty fun. And they invited us over for dominoes weeks ago, and I had forgotten because I forget things at entire reseller meetups versus camping trips.
Or contacting me with the information that I thought you two were trying to figure out. That would have been helpful.
What information is that?
That we were doing the podcast.
Who did what to the podcast?
Oh my gosh!
Why would we do that?
Turner's over here expecting to watch a movie with me. And
what movie were you going to watch? Wait, tonight?
Yeah.
You've known we were doing a podcast tonight for a week.
No, I haven't.
What do you mean?
I sent you messages. If you go back and look, I said, you figured it out with Carrie. And apparently you figured it out, but nobody told me what you figured out. There's an extra step involved. The guest that was going to come on, John, all that would have been nice.
See, now look what you made it right in the middle of my pick. I need to know who to pick. I was going to ask Dave if I should pick Najee Harris or I should pick Zamir White. I'm going to go with Najee.
I have to do the podcast up here, Carrie. You'd freak out. This lightning storm is insane. I've never seen anything like it before in my life. It's
what
just
movie
lightning.
What were you going to watch?
The plan was to watch Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I feel like Turner might be just old enough to do that, and I was excited. My wife and daughter are gone tonight.
Saw 7? Is that's what you were watching?
Saw
7?
No, there's a story. You got to start with one. You want to know the story.
Jigsaw is somehow still alive. I don't really understand how it keeps happening.
Jigsaw has Saw is more about the story than it is about the massive amounts of gore.
Kevin, your story doesn't line up because you're the one who initiated the podcast just now. You messaged me and said John doesn't want to do it with the draft. Let's just do it now. And so I sent you the link. So I don't understand. You initiated the whole thing.
I initiated it right now because on the Dibdit, you guys said we're doing the podcast.
Oh, well, why would we not do the podcast? We need to have a podcast every week, Kevin.
Because
this is part of the show.
We've been doing this for 17
years. 3 years, bro.
Because Carrie and the guest who is supposed to be on both have a fantasy football draft right now as we speak.
But listen,
so I assumed we weren't going to do this.
Carrie's doing it. He's doing it.
Josh Allen is my starting quarterback.
He just got Josh Allen, and Blake Bortles is not available.
Bortles, I actually wrote him in.
Yeah.
For the record, Cincinnati Picker says no, I'm not doing the draft and the podcast at the same time.
Oh,
what about when he was doing Two Men's with No Jobs and No Pants or whatever the heck that podcast was? They don't even have jobs.
Two Pickers, 1 cup. I remember it.
Two Pickers, 1 cup. 2 Peckers, 1 cup.
You didn't even need to, honestly. Not necessary.
Cross the streams. No.
Okay,
we lost enough subs on the last episode to start off this way.
How many did we lose?
A lot of subs?
Oh, immediately right off the bat. Boom, boom, boom. 3 of them gone.
Really? We got a response from both of the podcasters.
Yeah, let's get into that.
Did you see they both responded?
We also got
They both just said really good show, and we did a great job of representing their opinions very accurately. Yes,
we collectively.
We did a great job.
Well, you were really hard on him, and we were trying to hold.
Yeah, right.
Kevin's always hard on them.
Whatever listen. Whatever he says is completely the opposite is the truth. That's basically
the
what
used book guy said.
Kevin's
Listen, the used book guy, who's part of the Reseller Mindset podcast, said appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. We value your feedback, and we'll relay this message.
For the record, I didn't listen, but I will.
Carrie didn't listen. He was just making stuff up, and he will relay the message to the higher ups, which I think means they have a boss.
Do they have Manscaped or something as a part? Can we get Manscaped? By the way, is that possible? Can we talk to somebody?
And then Johnny B had way more words to say, and he might have been a little triggered. A little. There's Kevin, you tell us. You know better.
I didn't read the comments.
Johnny B here from the Reseller Mindset that was mentioned on the podcast episode. Just a couple inaccuracies I would like to speak on.
Okay.
That's our whole podcast.
That's literally our podcast.
We just
Johnny.
sit on a pile of inaccuracies. Allegedly.
and
have
that's
to say
why we say
legally.
allegedly.
Yes, because nothing. You should take everything we say seriously, but none of it. Seriously. Allegedly.
The 10% margin I was talking about was in the far future, not in today's Spectrum. Okay, I didn't realize
of course,
that. I thought
that was
today.
implied.
Mike and I are primarily indeed Amazon sellers and do very little eBay these days. We are media sellers, not just book. As far as doom and gloom, I suppose you can view it in that mindset, pun intended.
Oh, look at that. He's bringing that. We need to do more things where we use our podcast name as puns.
Yeah, you're looking trash to cash today.
Yeah, look at all that cash in your trash.
But it is primarily about making adjustments in your business to be successful and more successful.
Adapting, I do that.
Yeah, neither one of us believes that part-time resellers will go away entirely or in absolutes.
Then why
That's
do you say it as the
misrepresentation of what we were trying to say.
Wait, were they clickbaiting?
We would never do that. I do appreciate the Commonwealth Picker guy understanding the context.
Come on now.
Understanding the context of what we were trying to represent in each and every podcast we do. Thank you for your time and consideration, and don't worry you didn't burn the bridge. Carrie, we got to try harder.
Yeah, man. We need to pour some gasoline
on the fire. Okay, yeah. Anyways, so whatever. I think it was a great thumbnail. It was a great thumbnail, and it performed really well. Thank you for the idea.
It says Commonwealth Picker. I just wanted to double check it.
No, it said.
Just want to make sure.
There's an E in Pecker.
Yeah, P-E-C-K-E-R.
And not. He also didn't say guy. He didn't say that.
Well, Kevin, can you not? I'm trying to make you look worse.
Look,
hey, there wasn't that many.
Don't fact check me in real time.
Getting lost in the truth and just live in the sauce we're creating right now.
All right, I'm calling out the potato leavers here, Oscar.
Oh, there's a lot of potatoes in the chat,
There's
guys.
a lot of potatoes in the chat, and I think you should do it again.
Don't apply.
Because I feel like he's trying to finagle a Shop Commons reference right here. So drop the potatoes down below. We're sick of it.
Susie Q.
Listen, Kevin, but there's something better than a potato in the comments. I don't know if you saw it from Mob49.
No,
Thank you, Dave and Carrie, fighting against the man for all his little guys. I used to feel bad for Kevin, but with all the constant pimping of Commons now, sheesh. Watching his videos is like watching an infomercial.
Whatever.
Yeah, not even a good one.
An infomercial.
Listen, I've hardly done it on Flipper. That's my point. I did it everywhere else.
Okay, and then Peggy has a hot take for content creators.
One full video.
Peggy has a hot take for content creators. All of you guys that put your Flipper videos out before the Picker videos will suffer. It's a real turnoff to see you pick something that I've seen you pull and ship. I turn it off boring. Peggy, we've been doing that for 4 years. I mean, the suffering must already be happening because
so you have to edit. They want you to edit so fast.
The Picker before your Flipper.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Though.
Well,
it's just too much
for
work.
me. There's no picking in the wintertime. So if you're going to put out videos in the winter, you got to have extras. So I pull some back. Sometimes I put some recent stuff right at the very get go, and then some. It's just a mix.
Yeah, sorry,
it's a
Peggy.
Mix.
Sorry, Peggy.
Dave doesn't have that much trouble because he doesn't list everything,
That's true. A lot of it sits in the death file, so it's not as big of a deal.
I watched 3.5 minutes of Kevin's latest video, and I tuned out once he stopped talking about Dawn. Yeah, he's talking about Dawn and selling the cat. Tissue holder. Then I clocked out when he started talking about other stuff.
Oh, I thought you meant she was selling her cat. Her actual cat's just like for sale.
We got cats if you guys really want them.
Anyone want to buy a cat?
Is this the appropriate form?
Carrie, how's the ultimate sell-off? How's the ultimate sell-off going?
Dude, we were thinking we're going to be done really quick with selling everything. The only real major thing is cards, and honestly, if it came down to it, I would just dump it if I had to card-wise, like the excess, because I can get more cards. It's not hard. But I'm going to sell a lot on Shops Commons. I'm going through like my whole inventory. I'm trying to switch up how I'm doing everything. Getting rid of all the low end, so I'm not the $1.50 card guy anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to be big time $15,500. Is that how I'm supposed to say it? Card.
Yeah, he was saying like $15,500.
That's how you say. That's how you say it if you make that money regular. Yeah, if you make that kind of money on the reg, you say 15.5K.
Kevin just calls it.
When I'm talking about the stock market, I say that kind of stuff.
Kevin just calls it a pittance. He said, "I made a pittance today, 15.5. Mm-hmm. That's
I
good.
think
I'm
all
like-
this talk about this is ruining my viewer sales are down. It's like people believe that I have all this money and they don't want to buy a ET pin anymore off of me. I blame
they don't want
both
to give
of
you $4 for an ET
Well,
pin.
you have a different
blame
shirt on
both of
every
you.
time I see you, and sometimes you change twice
Who
in the day.
owns
I
this many
have 3
shirts?
shirts that I just rotate.
Yeah.
That's
I'm a
it.
little upset that I didn't get to change from the Divot show to this to a new. I would normally change the T-shirt, but not this time.
Okay. Well, anyways, reselling, guys. Let's talk reselling.
I shut. Wait a minute. All right, I got the first topic. So
Okay.
I had a day. I had a day where I had 2 sales. Brutal day. Actually, I take it back. There's 3 sales. One was like after I went to bed.
But how many on
3
Bonanza?
sales. None.
Oh my gosh.
And so I had this just brutal day, and I decided I wasn't going to film a third video because there's only 3 items. So I filmed and put them on the last video, and I shut my store down. I'm like, forget it. I'm good because I'm leaving for 2 days to the beach. So I shut it down, and immediately after I shut it down, within the next 5 hours, I sell 8 things.
Wow.
How does that make any sense whatsoever?
I don't know, Kevin.
Was that a brag somehow? Was that like a
No,
brag?
Always
it's
is.
ridiculous.
Backhanded
I've
brag?
only had. I'm similar though. I only had 2 returns today, which is pretty low for me. And normally I expect to get a little more than that.
I had a
so.
return. And
Uh,
I thought for sure it was a scam
so are you gonna
because I
ship?
tested.
Are you gonna ship the 8 items before you go?
No.
Yeah.
No.
You're just gonna let them sit.
No,
Yeah, why
no.
bother? It's just
I'm not
fans.
gonna- Well,
just
it's a
customer
holiday.
service. Yeah, no, I get
It's
it.
a holiday.
It's just
on
part of your
Monday.
job.
I'll ship them when this airs. That's when I'm going to ship it.
All right.
So
Well,
it's on there. They saw it. I always send them a message too, make sure they know for sure.
I will
so.
say the Dibdit mods are gonna come down on me because I just did a Dibdit auction. That's not going out till Tuesday or Wednesday probably because of the weekend. But it's not that crazy, is it? If it's Thursday
it'll be
night,
fine.
Friday, and then it's a weekend.
Well,
The
I
Dip
ship.
mods. What are you talking
Oh wait,
about?
that's us. Never mind. We Gucci.
We
Gucci fam.
We are Dip.
We are the
We are
Dibdit
one.
mods.
We are just one body
We
of
are
Dip.
people. Did you know that Janet Jackson is related to Tracy Chapman? Fun fact.
Did you know that Janet
Really?
Jackson's related to Tito Jackson?
Did you know that I think they're also related to... I saw some TikTok. It could be fake because I don't know if everything's true on TikTok. It's 50-50 on the truth on TikTok. But did you know Wesley Snipes didn't pay his taxes?
Did you know that
I
he's
did. I
the
think
only
I knew
person who's ever been
I think I did
Blade?
know.
The only person.
Yeah, he was it in Deadpool as well, and he was good. He was good in that.
No, but there's been 2 Wolverines, like 17 Spider-Men. There's been 2 Gambits, but only 1 Blade.
Are you going to go see Beetlejuice?
I've heard it got great reviews.
I could care less about that.
I mean,
I don't
I've
know if you're
heard.
going to see it.
Yes, next weekend. I'm gonna go see a movie tomorrow. I want to see AI Afraid, but Don wants to see It Ends With Us. So we're
I
gonna
thought you
go
already
see that.
saw that.
That's
We
no.
haven't
I
seen
saw
Oh,
it.
Kevin saw it.
No, I saw. I gave you a great report of what was on.
There's like this one, the TikTok hype train is like going about some film about a darling or something. Epic. I can't remember what it's called, but did you see the trailers for that?
No, I haven't yet.
For the movie I don't know the name of? Did you see
Could
the
we
trailers?
do all the stuff that I might be involved in, and then
Well,
the
what-
last
yeah,
15
well,
minutes y'all can do
Dude,
your thing?
yeah, dude. How about what kind of brand of chewing tobacco is the best?
Kevin, have you gotten us any new sponsors for this show?
Yeah,
That's the question.
Do we have? any
Actually, I
sponsors?
have an email from somebody that I have not gotten back to. So.
Didn't eBay? Wasn't
cleaning
eBay gonna
products? Cleaning products.
do like a Brinks truck full of cash for us, and we never heard anything?
eBay.
I feel like I should
tell
be
you.
like getting offers to do sponsorships on the cooking channel, but I don't. Sad,
Yeah.
sad face panda.
Dude, you're
You
gonna-
should do.
dude.
You should do whatever you made that day. You should sell it on Dibdit as soon
That's
as
why
you're
you got
done
to get your
filming.
TikTok going because you
Start
can do
selling
TikTok
food.
shop all day.
Yeah, that's true.
They sell food on whatnot and stuff.
Oh
have,
yeah,
like,
you should start doing a
snacks.
private label. You should do private label cottage.
Cottage cheese. Oh,
Excuse me.
gross.
I got the 7-Up burps.
Oh, it's called
my
Strange Darling. It's already out of the theater, so never mind. I guess I won't be seeing that. It looked good though.
It's already out of the
It's
theaters,
gone.
or-
Yeah, it must not have done very well.
Well, you could find it
I'm sure. Yeah, if I go to a different theater.
if you're willing to travel.
Yeah, have car will travel. Speaking of have car will travel, will you be taking your both cars to Florida when you move?
I think we're just gonna take the Honda for now, and
Nice.
then we'll figure out the rest.
Taking
But
the
we're
more-
gonna take a Honda. I want to buy a van. If the Caitlin Clark keeps going well, Daddy might get a new 2006
Honda
what's
Odyssey.
it? Odyssey with power doors.
Get
I
it?
don't know. We'll see.
Get it?
We'll see. The problem with getting a van, though, as a picker, let's talk picking.
Yeah, let's talk picking.
Is we will
Just put Art of
fill
Resell
up
on the side.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what space we have, a lot or a little, we will fill it up with junk.
Yeah.
So it's better for us to have less space, so we think about
So
what
you're
we're
saying your
picking. If not,
inventory will live in the van? Like you're gonna have SKUs out there? Like
you know, I will.
Have you
We'll
not seen
buy
those
so much
car
more if we
bin
have a
12,
van.
car
We'll
bin
end up.
6.
We'll end up being like you, Dave, and have an abandoned storage locker in the middle of the woods.
I do have
that.
that.
You just go sell out of every time you feel guilty.
I need to do that.
You know
Once
what
the
I mean?
weather comes down, I'm gonna go back out there and start selling again. But it's too hot right now. It's amazing how it stays kind of cool though in there. I went out there in the dead heat of the summer and it was like 85 degrees in there. And with the humidifier, it just really wasn't bad at all. So it actually does pretty good. I don't know. It'd be cool.
Are
for
you
my
still
backyard.
going ahead with your plan for the studio to do the podcast in the back of that?
I would
thing, or
love
what?
to, but probably not. I was thinking the way I've got this set up in here now, I've kind of rearranged and cleaned my whole garage. I might be able to, fit something in here for me and Carrie to do the podcast. I'm still trying to.
Or
figure
Carrie could do it at his house.
Yeah, that's true. He's gonna have a house in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
He's gonna be my next door neighbor.
I'm gonna be like
should
Al. No,
co-sign
you have to
with
be
him.
Al
Oh,
Borland.
that's a
I have
good
to
idea.
start a tool show. I think.
Not that dumb. No, listen. The thing is, he's gonna be my next door neighbor. I haven't told the next door neighbors yet, but they'll figure it out when he moves.
We could
in.
have Trash to Cash sign for it. We could all we
Yeah,
could Trash to
co-sign
Cash
for Carrie's
podcast
apartment.
co-sign.
Yes.
with
I can't
Carrie's,
co-sign.
yes.
I don't have a job. Like what? They're not gonna. They're gonna be like, oh, another
You
guy
got
with no
enough
job.
income.
Yeah.
They'll see that cooking channel revenue and they'll be like, oh, sign this dude up.
Yeah, it doesn't even compare to Carrie's TikTok revenue.
We would really, we'd really like a house. I mean, we can afford it, but it's I've never had my own house, even rented. I've either been in an apartment or Don's house or my mother's house. Those are the three.
Your mom's
places.
a sweetheart, though.
My mom is a
Let's
sweetheart.
dig into
Thank
that.
you. I don't use her for videos like you guys.
I
use your
did
family,
ask ChatGPT.
I call her Mama Arbitrage. It's something I came up with on my own. Just very cute and kitsch.
I did ask ChatGPT to tell me a secret about American arbitrage, and it went into like his deep, dark anxiety problem. And I'm like, okay.
How does
I
don't even
know
talk
that?
about that on that. I talk about it on the podcast.
It just
I think
knows.
it knows who I am
Yeah,
from the
it's kinda
podcast.
creepy. It's gonna take over eventually.
Ask about Kevin. Ask AI about a little known fact about Commonwealth. Picker.
Whatever it says, he'll embellish it just like he did that comment. It won't even matter.
Let's just find out what it says. What,
Okay.
what do they
I
know?
have, while he's looking here, I'll get the worst sale of the week. And this was a spite sale. Have you ever sold something that you didn't want to sell because a viewer told you it wasn't going to sell?
No.
Yeah.
No,
I bought a bag of toys. I think I was with Rob. I bought a bag of toys. And
That's
like
a
that was a
you thing.
stupid waste of $5 and whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so I sold it.
I try to look at things more positively, but go ahead.
One of the toys was a Disney Junior Mickey Roadster Racer Claire Cluck diecast, and I sold it for $7.
You bought that? For
$7
$5?
plus shipping.
Why
No.
did you spend $5
It was
on
a
that?
bag full of toys,
Oh,
and I just wanted to prove a point, and I sold that one, and there's two of them for $6.95, and the other
you
stuff
sold two.
I sold off.
Okay.
in
So
line.
how much profit did you make minus your time and your gas?
Well, that was one item in a bag, Carrie. There was a big full bag, so I probably made $35.
Are you saying that if people just do that consistently, they can quit their jobs, their six-figure jobs?
Yes,
You
that's
telling people
exactly
quit
what
their
I'm saying.
jobs?
At lunchtime tomorrow, just go curse your boss
Seems
out
like
and
realistic
say, "I'm
concept.
selling."
See, it was easy for me to
Disney
quit my
Junior
job
stuff.
because I was fired from In-N-Out. That makes it so much easier to quit your job when they tell you have to leave.
The Harry
And it's in and
Tornado
out.
method, right? Didn't he get
Yeah.
fired, and that was his thing?
He got fired and then he started
Allegedly.
doing it, yeah. All right, so here's the obscure fact about Kevin. Kevin has a unique fascination with advertising memorabilia, particularly vintage metal signs and promotional items from defunct companies. He's been known
Fred
to
Frisk
go
or
out
whatever his name is?
of his way to pick up these items because he finds them not only valuable for reselling, but also intriguing from his historical perspective. He's mentioned that before these pieces are pieces of forgotten history, and they are among his favorite finds. Also,
This
he's
is artificial stupidity. This is not about.
Is
me.
that not
you
true?
typed in Frank Fritz?
No, literally, I
it's
said
not
Commonwealth
true.
Picker.
I mean, I buy that stuff every once in a while, but no.
Why do I have a weird... Do you hear a crackle? Or am I only hearing the crackle?
I don't know. Let me turn my audio off. See.
Carrie, say something.
Hello.
No,
Hello?
I hear it with you too. It must be me. As long as you guys don't hear it, it should be fine.
I mean, I could turn the audio and video off and just see.
Carrie,
if
you don't hear it, right?
persists.
You don't hear any crackle in Kevin's? All right,
No.
so it must just be my headphones. I'll switch my ears or something. Okay, so I got a comment on Facebook that I thought was an interesting reselling / YouTubing topic. Okay, because that's, apparently this is a reselling / YouTubing channel.
I guess.
So Eldon said in response to one of my Facebook videos, the lanyards, : colon. Is it a colon when it's two dots, one on top of the other? Yeah, colon. Yeah.
Yeah, that's yeah.
He knows he is going to sell the lanyards. He is not going to wear them at Disney World. Which I will say, of those lanyards I bought, several went to my children and were worn at Disney World. Okay, the lamp. He is not going to keep it. It is going to be sold. I don't know which lamp it is actually, so that one's a little harder.
Did you say okay? But did that come from a comment?
Oh, like, no,
that
the lamps
in my kitchen.
Oh, now I'm playing it. The lamps literally are in my bedroom, so they are being used in my house right now. This is a year later, and
so
I'm
who's
still
the
using
liar
them.
now?
Yeah, they're these like big giant.
Whose pants are on fire?
Yeah, apparently
Don's. If you are indeed wearing pants,
those comments do affect me because I'll say I change what I say to stuff. Sometimes I used to say, "Oh, Turner would like that." That doesn't mean I'm giving it to Turner. That means Turner would like that. I'm going to sell it, right?
But you say that to imply that you're giving it to Turner so that people think you're a good father, which you are.
Most of the time I'm saying it to the camera.
I just wanted to make that clear. You are a good father, but I'm just saying.
So now I say stuff like, because sometimes it is. You know this, Dave. You give stuff to your kids all the time. I got tons of stuff that I've bought that I give to my kids. So now I say, Turner might like this. If he doesn't, I'll sell it. Just so I don't get that comment, because a lot of pickers, I have no doubt, go out there and say, oh, let me call my wife about this.
Me and Don have had fake children at a yard sale before. We've gotten into that somehow, and we just had to continue the conversation with our fake children we were buying stuff for. Not proud of it, but it happened.
If you introduce it and say something like that, it's a different story.
I try not to do that anymore.
Sometimes the people who are selling it will say something, oh, you buying that for your kid? That's like, what do you respond? It's like, no, I'm going to sell this on eBay for $120.
Yeah,
you're not going to say that.
Sell it to somebody else's kids.
Sometimes I'll say that. I'll be like, some kid will like it. I'll make sure of that, or something like that.
Very vague.
What were we talking about? We're back. I had some technical difficulties.
We were talking about how Kevin started doing fantasy baseball.
Before that, when I started disappearing, it was something interesting. Oh, the Facebook guy who was blaming me or saying I was keeping everything or selling everything.
We finished that conversation. It was fun.
It wasn't really
well.
that good.
I was just gonna say they often do that and are wrong. So he's wrong. Mm-hmm. So the third thing he said was the fox, a big giant stuffed fox. Mm-hmm. It'll be cool, but then it'll get sold on eBay. That's actually correct. I kept it for about a year and then I sold it on eBay. So
yeah, but that's what we do as pickers. I'm selling that Spider-Man for like $25 more than I paid for it at FleetCon if he picks it up. But I've had it creeping me out for 4 months, and now it's
you should let him come and buy a bunch of stuff off you.
Seriously,
if he's coming out there.
I have a lot of junk, a lot of bad purchases, a ton.
Yeah, and you'd love to offload your bag onto FleetCon. Take that how you will. I didn't mean it like that, but based on your face, you're taking it a different way.
I feel like you went that way specifically, and if you didn't, I almost feel like it's worse if you didn't know what you were doing.
I know. So, Kevin, you're still not coming down next week?
Nope.
Or 2 weeks from now?
Nope. I might not come down at all.
Wow. Wow. That's
I'm gonna be down there, Kev. We gotta hang out,
Kevin,
man.
you had
I'll
the
come down
chance
to
to
see
hang
Gary.
out with a moderately popular cooking YouTuber.
Yeah.
And you're missing out on that.
Seriously. You walk in a 7-Eleven with him. And then they're gonna discount the 3-day-old pizzas for you. They're like, you can buy one get one free because we were about to throw that out.
Someone did comment today. I hate this channel. All you ever talk about is cottage cheese. And I'm like, well, look at the views, all right?
Because you don't watch the other ones.
Yeah, if you'd watch the other ones, I would not talk so much about cottage cheese. But it's not even their fault, right? Because YouTube's just not showing it.
It's only showing them. But they are loving it. They're like, you do anything cottage cheese, they're serving it up, and people are eating it up.
Yeah,
they're eating up the cottage cheese stuff. It's I didn't realize it's like a whole new world.
A whole new world. We were singing that.
Shining place to be or whatever. I didn't know it existed. It's pretty awesome.
So Dave, did you really have 2 returns?
I don't know. I just made that up. That was a joke.
Really
I thought I played it pretty well. I don't check my. Tina looked at my eBay today. She's like, "Dave, you have 3,600 messages." I'm like, "Yeah, I don't look at those."
So on the day that I had those 3 sales, the day that just was really, really bad. Like I went from like 640 down to 300 down to like 100 in a day. I'm like, this is brutal. But on that day, I got a message about this package that is now on its 3rd trip around the country, $360 sale. And it's just vanished. And then later that day it showed up. It was literally at my post office. I went down there and watched them, and they repackaged it and shipped it back out. And I'm like, what the heck? They're like, they don't even know why it didn't get delivered. The box looks perfectly fine. The label looks perfectly fine. The address is legit. And they told me it was because that the label was bent over the side of the box. I'm like,
I
seen
always bend my
thousands of
labels
those.
over the side of the box. Yeah.
As long as you
like
don't
said,
go over the
thousands.
barcode and all that,
Yeah.
and they're like, yeah, we know. It's just I think what in all this scuttlebutt everybody's talking about is that AI is taking over the post office, and it's doing things to packages and whatever. I don't know if that's
That's
true.
the first time in human history AI and scuttlebutt has been used in the same sentence. Congratulations.
Breaking new ground here on the Trash to Cash podcast.
Somehow
The
old-timey
AI
and
scuttlebutt.
from the future.
That's right. So
So
I mean, we had all these big plans with Cincinnati Picker. I didn't even think of any topics because he was.
Remember, we were going to do Ohio trivia for a whole hour and a half. We
Spill the
spent a
beans.
lot of time learning about lakes and rivers and different historical figures.
How's John drafting today, Carrie? How's he doing?
I don't even know which team his is. I'm barely able to concentrate on who I'm drafting. But I don't know. I'm sure.
Does it really
I'm sure
matter
he's picking
though?
great
Because
people.
you don't know who's gonna do good and who's gonna do bad.
It's all educated.
Yeah, it
guess.
matters. You just gonna randomly pick people? No.
Yeah, that's what I did, and I did great my year.
No.
I did it with
You did one season with us. You won 2 or 3 games.
And it
was always the best. It was always the best because everybody's so mad when they lose to Dave because Dave's not even putting people in. He's half his lineup's not playing.
Yeah,
he's got freaking Irving Fryer and Eric Dickerson on the team, and they've been retired for 25 years.
So when you're in second place and Dave is playing the first place team, you got to call Dave and remind him to put his team in so that you have a chance to win.
We have a league I started like 3 years ago when I was new on social media, and I did a story, and we started a league, and we had a bunch of people join, and I know them all well now. We're friends, but there was this one lady named Paula Carr. Never respond. I don't know how we got her in the league, but she won 2 years in a row against me. She was the champion. I lost to her 2 years in a row in the finals. I don't know who she is. She never responded to any messages. We ended up kicking her out of the league because she never responded to anything, and she kept winning. And we don't know who she is. We didn't have any clue
might
who
be
she
the
was.
mother of an NFL quarterback, and
she might, David or Derek, either one of them.
So we don't have John's story, right? Did you know anything about? You said he wanted to come on the show and tell us a story.
Yeah, he said he had a great story he wanted to tell us, and this has been like 2 months ago because Dave doesn't ever. John, don't hold it against me. So, but now we'll have to reschedule, and that just means that I have another idea on a podcast.
I have another idea. What if we just get ChatGPT to write John's story for us, and we just kind of people hate the ChatGPT.
They love ChatGPT.
So I asked it to tell us what John's story he was going to tell us was, and it said John the Cincinnati Picker had a reputation for uncovering treasures, but nothing prepared him for what he found in the old mansion on the edge of the town. See? The place was rumored to have been a den of forbidden pleasures in the 1920s.
It's Kevin's place.
Where the city's elite indulged in desires far too scandalous to speak of.
Don't reach into bags at that place.
As John explored the mansion, he discovered a hidden room behind a false wall filled with relics from the past, silk lingerie, and hand-carved toys.
This is 100% Kevin's place. This is exactly how I would imagine
this is not
this is, I guess, John's story. And provocative photographs that captured the steamy nights that once unfolded there. But it was the diaries bound in soft leather that
I can see why that's going to replace
John.
us.
Yeah, that's it. We're goners. We're goners.
How can I admonish Mike for the misbehavior and everything and all that?
I didn't understand
with
three of the words in
Kevin,
that sentence.
Kevin, Mike's way more behaved than you two at this point.
The pages were filled with detailed accounts of the wild, secretive encounters that took place in those very rooms, passionate affairs, and Tryst? What's a Tryst?
Tryst. Kevin knew right away.
Defied the norms of time. The writing was raw, explicit, and left little to the imagination, with descriptions of pleasure shared by the city's most powerful men and women. John knew these diaries were dynamite.
What if this is John's actual story?
Capable of blowing apart the carefully maintained facades of Cincinnati's high society. The temptation to reveal the secrets was overwhelming John, but he chose a different path. In his videos, he hinted at the mansion's erotic history, sharing just enough to titillate his
those
audience
erotic comments he keeps making in his videos about.
The videos were a sensation, sparking rumors and arousing curiosity across the city. John had turned a quiet, forgotten mansion into a symbol of hidden desire, and with each new discovery, he teased his viewers just enough to keep them coming back for more, always leaving them wanting. Finally, he decided to go on the Trash to Cash podcast and tell all. And Carrie ruined it. Thanks, Carrie.
Yeah. There's not, you know what this proved to me? There's not enough erotic reseller content out there. And I think we're filling a niche. I think we're giving people what they want.
John, let us know in the comments if we accurately
how close we
your
were.
Story.
Percentage 1 to 100.
Gosh.
I called Eric OBX because I couldn't get any information about, I couldn't figure out. I figured Eric is having.
He's the person you go to information.
No, I wanted information about this draft so I could make a plan because I couldn't get you two to make a plan. And I kind of just put it out there that, hey, I got to get this podcast. Kevin, that's just how important football is. Seems like
this blows your mind, okay? But you could just dial either one of our phone numbers.
Yeah.
What's the text? I called Carrie tonight. I sent a text to.
You called me right after, and you're like, "Are we doing it?" And I'm like, "Yeah." I thought we were. I really thought we all knew what was happening, even John.
Yeah. No. Mm-hmm. How? Did either one of you tell me?
No, I didn't do anything, but I don't ever do anything, so I'm not supposed to.
Okay.
So here's the thing. I called Terry.
I don't think people want to hear about it. What have you sold?
Look how upset he is. He's red. He's beat red.
He does not want to be here.
After last week.
What happened last week? I don't remember.
What happened last week?
Last week's episode. You guys are ridiculous.
It did well. It was a popular show.
It's a 2.
Yeah,
it's a 2
that's what
with
people
absolutely no subscribers added, hardly. So,
well, to be fair, it wasn't actually worthwhile.
People who love us. We're not trying to gain new followers.
Kevin,
you should know how that is.
Me and Carrie, when it comes to picking content, are at that point where we're satisfied.
We're both literally focused on other channels right now.
We are very satisfied with where we're at. We love what we have, and we're appreciative for it, and we don't need more. We don't need as much money as you.
We're not trying to take more from the community.
Oh, don't give me this money crap. You're getting money from
money.
2 other outlets, so you don't care about what
I donate that all to you. That all goes straight to your account.
We haven't seen a penny from Trash to Cash since Dave paid us last time, which was
dude. Do you know what I sold, Kevin? It is an interesting thing. You have Bojangles near you, right?
Yeah,
there's some in Lynchburg. Did you see those wrestling cups that they had? Like if you got a large cup, you'd get a wrestling cup. I got some of those with my family, and I listed them as just. He has nothing to do with it.
He's been punching a lot.
He put a
post
out
about not as much picking.
That was
Probably
me.
To you. Oh,
that was me. That was me.
Scratch it. Forget you, Rod.
So don't shout out Rod. He gets nothing. He did nothing for us here.
I'd prefer you guys don't sub to Rod at this point.
Okay. So, anyways, I sold a 2-pack for $13.50, which paid for my whole meal. At Bojangles. So it's like the popcorn bucket thing. And I've got another lot of 2 listed, and I kept one.
I actually did go to the McDonald's to see if I can get one of those McDonald's cups. Do whatever just for.
I hear they're crappy. I hear they're like
gone.
Plastic.
They
garbage.
were sold out. They were gone.
I did sell. I think it was McDonald's or Burger King.
I thought they were glasses. They're plastic.
Yeah, they're plastic. Yeah,
really.
People are really disappointed with them. But who did the Star Wars ones in the '70s? Was that Burger King or McDonald's? Do you remember
That's a good question. I think it was. I don't know.
I just sold some and I can't remember. Either way, I sold a set for like $70 this week, so that was pretty good.
Good job.
Pepsi.
Those are Bolo. No, Pepsi might have been involved, but it was at one of the fast food joints. I'll tell you.
Well, but that's what I'm trying to say. If it was Pepsi, it wouldn't have been a McDonald's because they do Coke products.
I don't know. Did they do
Coke
Pepsi products in 1977?
McDonald's does Coke products.
Yeah. Everyone says, okay, found it. It's vintage Burger King Star Wars promotional glasses.
And it wasn't
set of
Pepsi
5 sold for $76. So,
yeah, think about that. They let Burger King have that Star Wars.
Yeah,
that's kind of.
Well, Burger King was a big deal back then.
That was my first job. I'm very pro Burger King. That was my first job. I used to steal the nuggets.
Did you like
Reese's Pieces did ET
instead of M&M. I used to drive to work in my 1966 Ford Fairlane, listening to Chevelle. If you guys remember the band.
Was that your first car?
Send the pain below. Send the pain below.
My dad bought it for me. He was going to fix it up. It was a red Ford Fairlane 1966 for the first week until I got in a fender bender, and then the fender became green because that's all we could find to replace the fender. So, but for a while it was completely red. It was pretty awesome. I'm trying to draft somebody. Sorry, guys.
Well, I had a 1979 Honda Accord hatchback, gray.
Oh, you fancy.
Oh, it was awful. What was your first car, Dave? A van?
Chevy S10 Tahoe extended cab. Yeah.
Man, where do you come from? Money? We ain't have no money.
Dude,
Well,
it was,
yeah, have you
it
seen
was
him?
like in
Yeah.
1989. It was in 89 and the year was
89?
2000. So,
Okay.
it was like a
All right.
10-year-old car.
Yeah,
11-year-old
that's
car.
about right. Well, no. Yeah, maybe. I bought my
wasn't-
own first. I bought my first car. $900 cash.
Guys,
Awful
I'm
car.
really upset about turning 40 here in a couple weeks. I'm having a little
Yeah,
bit of a midlife crisis.
I'm still struggling. Like
Yeah.
it's a big deal. Kevin, back in like what was it, like the 90s when you turned 40, how did you deal with it?
I mean, obviously, it means I potentially
40.
could live another 36 years, maybe.
I don't even remember, to be honest with
Maybe.
you. I don't remember my 40th birthday. It's
Okay,
been so
so
long ago.
Kevin, last week we talked about how nothing was selling for triple digits and like $70 was our biggest sale. Have you
I
had a
had two.
turnaround?
Yeah,
Carrie, have you
yeah.
had a turnaround? Are you seeing
Yeah.
stuff in the triple digits or
I
close
sold
to
a
100?
jacket.
We've been doing not much on eBay. We're liquidating eBay stuff to move. So
Okay.
I
nothing
delisted
big.
and relisted a Giants jacket and reduced price down to $100, and it sold. New York Giants. I sold a Garmin Alpha 10 handheld GPS, another one, a second one for $360, and then I sold
Where'd you
another
get those?
Garmin product at a yard sale, and I
much you pay?
sold 200.
You paid 200 for it and you sold it for 360?
Two of them.
That's a weird flip. 200 to 360 twice, or you got 2 for 200?
200 to 360 twice.
How long did it take?
That's $250 profit. About
How long did it take?
About 14 days.
Carrie, would you do it?
200
Oh
how
my
much?
gosh.
200 to 360.
No, I wouldn't do it. I have time is money.
Yeah. Yeah.
It took you guys. Can't be serious.
I like doing a quarter to $1.50. It's what I prefer.
You can't be serious.
Well,
how quick
there's
did you
no
sell
guarantee.
it? How quick
Listen,
did you, and is
The
it a
first
guaranteed
one,
sale?
the first one sold in about 3 days. The second one took 2 weeks. So
it's not
2
a
weeks.
guaranteed sale. You
Yeah, it
paid
is.
$57 in fees, right?
Yeah.
That's why I said I
Time,
made $250.
Gas was probably $40.
Well, no, you said you paid 200. You sold it for 360. You paid
Mm-hmm.
60 in fees. That means you made 100 a piece. You made
I
200.
did not pay 60 in fees.
$57
$57
for
so
the payment
360.
processing plus
About
the final
50,
value. It's
about
about
50
$57.
Okay, make a little bit in
So you
shipping.
paid 60 in
So
fees.
I made $210 in about, I don't know, 15 minutes of work.
Unless one comes
In
back
2
because it's not
weeks?
working because it's an electronic.
It's brand new sealed.
I'm just saying it's a little riskier than what I want to do in a yard
It's
sale.
not risky at all. It's not
What if
risky
they
at all.
resealed it?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Comment below, guys. I want to know if you do that flip. To me, it's a little bit like I probably wouldn't.
I feel
not
like that's
because-
somebody. That's a flip
because it's
somebody
an
with money
electronic.
would do.
Look,
Because it's an
If you have
electronic,
money,
I probably
you would
wouldn't
do
it.
that. But
You're
not
sitting
old Kevin
there-
wouldn't have done that. New Kevin would.
No,
Yeah, he's
Kevin
got
would
so
have
much
done that
money,
too.
it's nothing.
That's not true. Listen, I debated about it, and I looked at
He's a master.
the sell through rates, and some of them are going for $399.
Mhm.
Some of them are selling for $399, and the sell through rate was going to be. I told myself this is 10 days max. It took 14, but who's not going to take? I mean, if you don't do that, then why invest in the stock market? You sit there for a year with money.
I don't
point. Why
invest in the stock market.
You
Well,
made a
that's
great point there.
dumb.
I
I've
didn't
heard
watch
of it.
your whole
I've heard of
video,
the stock
Kevin, but
market.
you said it seemed like you implied in your new video that you just discovered in 2024 that there's sell through rates on eBay. Is that true? I didn't watch it. Do you want to
Finally
let us know what it
unlocked
was
that
about?
mystery. No, listen, it's not a terrible
Tell
buy.
us in the comments.
It's not,
Tell
Kevin,
us.
it's not a terrible buy. It's out of your
It's an average
character.
buy.
It is not within Kevin's historical character. That is why
I don't
it takes
feel like
me
that's
aback.
something
I
you
don't
would have done.
That's
agree
like
with
a
you.
J-Ride
If it
flip.
was an item that was used, or this is brand new sealed with a crazy good sell through rate, to me it was a no brainer.
Can you tell me about the seal? Was it a full wraparound plastic or just a sticker?
That's
That
a
makes
great
a big
question.
difference. That makes a big difference. If it's just a sticker, I don't buy it. That when someone tries to sell it.
Well, all I need to tell you is it's worked out great. They both sold.
Well,
Everything was
listen,
wonderful.
a viewer saved my butt this weekend, 2 weekends ago. I was looking at this exhaust pipe, and I asked the lady like 6 times, so this is brand new. It's never been used. Like, oh, yeah. And she kept saying it was new.
That's your problem, Dave. Why
You know-
are you looking at exhaust pipes?
I'll sell anything, bro. I'll sell anything.
You don't need to do that. Just let it go.
I like it. I like selling. I like being an everything seller. It's part of the fun. Like, what am I
You
going
know
to
who
sell a
would do this?
suitcase today?
I know, Carrie. Let's talk in terms of cards here. And I know how you are. But
Oh,
how
here we
many
go.
card sellers out there would buy a card for $200 that they could flip for $360.
Oh, every single one.
But it's not an electronic. It's a different world.
It's
Electronics are different.
Yeah, I mean,
I
wouldn't buy an AV receiver that's brand new
Dave,
for $200 that I can sell
big.
for $360.
It was this big. It's not like I'm shipping a monstrous. It's this big.
I get it. I get it, and it worked out. I'm just saying I would have trouble doing that. It would kind of depend on the seal, honestly, how it was sealed.
Electronics
if it was a sticker,
is the main
I probably
issue
wouldn't.
here.
If it was, yeah, exactly. It's the electronic portion that scares me. Because even if it's
would
brand
it make
new,
you feel better if it
even
was
if it's
it
brand
was on
new?
a shelf full of nothing but brand new product?
A little better.
Well, Dave
even if
has
it's brand
bought
new,
stuff
though,
like that from people. Wait, we're not supposed to talk about that, right?
Oh yeah. But no, even if it's brand new, it could be a knockoff. It could be like a like a Temu type knockoff because they do make things that look the same. There's also the possibility that was in a hot storage unit and the battery exploded or something like that, and I can't check on that. So with an electronic, I would hesitate. That's all I'm saying. With a card, I'd do it. With a sports card, with a comic, I'd do it. With a lot of categories, a plush, I probably wouldn't do it with a plush. Well, if I had that sell-through rate, I would. But yeah, I would not probably do it with an electronic because I'd be too nervous.
I also sold a Garmin dash cam that I bought super cheap at a yard sale, and I sold that for $132.95.
But let's be realistic. I would comp it at the yard sale. I'd see one that sold for $600, and I would do it. I'd be like, oh, actually, it's only $360. That's what would really happen. That's how it really plays out with me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
I have been
Kevin.
selling some of Don's stuff off. That's been nice. The cat thing that Gary talked about.
How much you get for that?
30 some not or 20? I don't know. Let's look. It's right here.
I think that
$25 plus shipping.
I think draft carry definitely brings down the quality of the show.
I'm sorry, man. I have to. I'm trying to figure. I got 2 more rounds left, and then I'm done.
Okay, so just pull them. Just set it to auto
I got
draft.
top dollar for a Furby. It's been a minute since I sold a Furby.
Pre-keistered?
$55. No,
$55.
No, we don't sell anything unless it's post-keistered here.
Talk about an electronic that people say is new that ends up being broken. That's a Furby. Nine times out of 10.
Furbies are tough though because sometimes they're really finicky. Like they don't talk to you unless it's 2 a.m. and like it's the witching hour. Then they're on every time.
Then the possession
telling you
enables,
spells and stuff.
Have you ever heard of Kipling bags? Kipling purses?
Yeah.
I've never sold one before, and I grabbed one. I'm like, hey, these aren't bad. I got $30 for it plus shipping.
Yeah, Kipling. We found some Kipling at the 127. They wanted like 20 a pop or 25, so there was no room. But I've heard of them. They're solid.
Well, I've since we last recorded had $400 sales, $100 plus sales. So that was kind of cool. I sold an action figure for $100. And then I went. I think I might have told you, maybe not. I went to this yard sale, and Carrie, this is the thing you were just making fun of me for. Okay, I went to a garage sale, and he had golf club chargers. They're big, giant power supplies for golf carts. For golf carts, not clubs. Golf cart chargers. Okay. And this is something Carrie would not even look at it, but he had 6 of them for $40 for golf cart chargers. And I know my dad had just bought one for a couple $100, so I know they're not cheap. And so I bought them. He promised they all worked, and that was a risk, but it was a $40 risk for 6 items. And one of them did not work. So 5 of them did work though, and I listed them. I've already sold 2 this week. One for $100, one for $160, and I paid $40 for 6 of them. So that was pretty cool.
I mean, cool is a stretch. I mean, that was.
They're easy to ship. They go in a 12 by 12 by 12 with some bubble wrap, and they're gone. They weigh like 32 pounds a piece. Though.
I say a foot by
Thank
a foot.
you, ground
by
advantage.
A foot, by the way.
Yeah, of course you do.
I sold a lawn chair. It's been a long time since I sold one of those.
Yeah, I've never even listed them. I've got like 15 in my shed.
$75 plus shipping.
You know what it was? I think that is like the one true market Kevin destroyed. Is those lawn chairs.
Really
because there was so many of them out there.
I think
people just didn't know they had value. They just didn't know. And then once Kevin said it,
and I was buying them like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'll take. You know who I saw do that too? I don't know if it was before me but I saw Craigslist Hunter was buying and selling those years ago.
Let us know in the comments if you bought one of those tube lawn chairs and never sold it. Just put a potato in the chat. That's just
you know what else? I tell you what.
That's how you. If you guys are just, if you also are not a fan of Kevin's general vibe, this show.
Potato.
Put a potato in the
Drop
comments.
the potato. Now, but no, because then we won't get all the votes for the chairs.
Listen, so Walmart.
Oh no, what should we do for the vibe?
If you don't like Kevin's vibe, put glasses, sunglasses.
Yeah, pineapple's too sexual. Let's do glasses
and his vibe.
Walmart didn't bring the strap back ones back. They brought the tube ones back. So that probably really killed that market too.
How many lights do you have pointed at you right now? 2 or 3?
Me?
I see them in your glasses. It's multiple lights.
1, 2, 3.
3, okay.
Not pointed at me. I have 2 kitchen lights.
At least one's a ring light, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't want us to see his lights. That's his little dirty little secret.
He's like the
Oh.
government. The
Well,
government's gonna
it's
find
clearly
out.
bothering you.
No, I was just curious.
Have you
Get
got, since
distracted
you're
by
not
shiny
in touch
things.
with the public anymore, since you don't care about your flipper viewers and all
I
that,
care.
you
I
don't
care.
care. Are you
It feels
keeping
like
up
you
with
don't,
any
though.
of the issues, the cancellation changes? Are you keeping up with
Yes.
the
Yeah.
new tax from
Cancellation
Minnesota?
tax. Yeah, the cancellation tax.
Get out of here, dude.
Yeah. I
Oh
saw
my
Rockstar
gosh.
did a video about cancellation changes. It
Yeah, I
says
know. By the way,
eBay
Rockstar,
changes
I didn't
cancellation
watch his
policies.
video, but it said big changes. Then I looked at the comments. I don't have time to watch his video. And apparently he's gonna live in an RV now, is what I
Really?
understand. Yeah, I
Is
didn't
that
watch
true?
the video, so this is based on not watching the video. But based on the comments,
This is not true.
no, I'm not joking.
Really?
Don't watch the video and look at the comments. They're all about rent an RV first. RVing is tough. Yeah. So he's gonna. So is he going to sell? Does he have to sell the i8, or is he going to just tow the i8 around in the RV?
Well,
question.
We have friends that the ones we played dominoes with. They decided to do RV life, and
is
they
that
lasted.
code?
What?
Dominoes?
No, it's not. No. But anyways, they lived in an RV for 8 months and got sick of it. That's how long they lasted. So I know a lot of people that do that whole idea, and then it does not.
Dude, because there's a lot of things with traveling all the time that suck.
You don't necessarily have to travel. You just live in the RV.
Yeah,
just like cut your costs and stuff and lower.
My parents did it for like 5 years.
Carrie, Gemini says you're wrong about the RV thing. So, sorry.
Becca Books. I sold another one.
Thank you. Who's Gemini? Oh, is that the Google?
ChatGPT, the Google version of ChatGPT. It does better with reading YouTube videos.
Okay. You're a nerd.
That's true. Kevin, congrats on the Becca Books.
You're welcome. Yeah. I bought a basket full of them for $5.
Okay.
It's a good deal.
Okay. Brag about it.
It's not bragging when Dave talks about his golf cart club chargers.
No, because he doesn't ever have any of those. We gotta let him do that every now.
That's why you got it. Those golf carts are called club cars, Dave.
Okay, so the transcript says that eBay sent a message to buyers and sellers about simplifying the cancellation process. Buyers now have the option to request cancellation using the cancel order button before the item has been marked shipped. Sellers retain full control to either accept or decline the cancellation request. Sellers are protected for neutral or negative feedback for any cancellation request made through the updated process. It sounds the same to me.
Why are you going to decline it if you if you have free shipping? I think it has something to do with when they can cancel. Like they can't cancel. The buyer can't request the cancel until after if it's been shipped. Before, I think they could.
In the old version, buyers could only request cancellation by sending a message to the seller. Is that true? I thought there was a button, but maybe not. Maybe you always had to message the seller.
I think that's right. Okay. I don't think I've ever seen a cancellation notice come without it being a message asking to cancel.
Now, back in the day, I used to buy from Amazon Warehouse all the time. It was like the used, you'd go to Amazon and like the main thing that said used was from Amazon's Warehouse. And they were very good about like hitting the quality that it said. So it would say used good, used acceptable, used very good, whatever. They now have like anyone selling in the used. I mean, they've been doing that for a long time. That's not new, but they have the buy box for used, and it doesn't necessarily mean it's Amazon Warehouse, which again, maybe has been forever, but I didn't know that. But anyways, I say that because I ordered something that was used very good, and it came totally destroyed. Totally in terrible condition, all beat up, doesn't even turn on. And so yeah, buyer beware on Amazon's used. I don't know if that happens to everyone.
Returns. I've been hearing stories. Returns are up everywhere.
The problem with buying used on Amazon versus eBay is like you don't get to see pictures of the item, the condition, the quality. You just get one word, just acceptable, or good or very.
And they use the same standard picture and all that stuff.
Yeah, so you don't actually. I feel like if you're gonna buy used, you should buy it on Carrie's eBay store.
Yeah. Guys, ebay.com/paulsmerch.com.
All right, Carrie, how many draft picks you got left, buddy?
I got one pick left. It's like,
okay, who did you pick last? We might as well just talk about this since this is where you're at.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, I got it. I think I'm going to go. I don't have enough running backs, but Michael Wilson of the Cardinals is still available in the last round. It seems like a really good deal. He's about 30 picks past where he should have been picked.
I would definitely pick him.
Is he hurt?
Like an 8. No, he's not. He's just on the Cardinals. Nobody likes him. But I need running backs. I have too many. I just figure, I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, but I'm almost done, and then we got a half hour left of this joint.
Well, okay,
Let's
good.
bring
So,
heat.
guys,
That's
the
being
last
generous.
30 minutes will be the good part of the show.
Let's
Carrie will
bring the
actually
heat.
show up.
Let's talk about what's hot right now in the reselling world. Is it bubble
No,
wrap
we'll
again?
just
That's
keep talking.
cyclical.
So, who's your best pick you've gotten so far in the draft, Carrie?
I like a sneaky
My
good
eyes.
pick. I got a Marvin Harrison Jr.
Oh, what team's he on?
Cardinals.
so you're a
Sneaky
big
good
Cardinals
second
daddy.
round pick. Sneaky.
Yeah, that was picked by the computer though, because I was in my auction. So
Yeah.
I
Wouldn't
like it.
surprise me. He had a good year. For sure. Sold some neighbor kids. Did you see those, Carrie, when we were in 127? The wooden dolls?
No,
didn't.
I didn't see that.
$180. $180.
Carrie, Google says you should go for Bryce Young.
No, I'm good.
Is
I
he already
picked Michael
gone?
Wilson. I don't have enough running backs. I may regret that, but that's okay.
Is Bryce Young already gone?
Yeah, but I already have a quarterback. I have Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers, the discount double check guy.
Trying to help Dave out with that.
No, I'm
done with the draft.
getting...
Let's talk like real.
No, I've got
get
another one.
Let's have
Google
a serious
says
reseller.
Zach Charbonnet would be a good one. Zach
I did.
Charbonnet.
I picked him on my other team. Charbonnet.
And Bijan Robinson,
Well, yeah, that's a first rounder. I didn't get him.
Devin Arcane, and
He's good.
Kendre Miller. Those are the ones it's recommending
that's the
for running
Saints right
backs.
there, yeah.
Are those
Pretty
all
good.
like first round picks?
No,
They're decent though.
some. You picked
Okay.
You picked low ones and high ones.
I didn't pick it. Google picked it. It's Gemini.
Did you
Maybe
hear? Did you
ChatGPT
hear
would know
that?
better.
Now they're making. You actually have to use eBay. eBay for processing your payments. You can't use PayPal or cashier's checks anymore.
Yeah, and I saw an email that said eBay's doing something with Venmo.
Yeah, eBay's doing something with Venmo. Did
They
you know
mixed
that
American
you can?
Express.
Did you know on eBay you don't have to just do auctions anymore. You can also do like buy it
You do
now,
buy it-
and
buy
they're
it
thinking
now.
about doing like a best.
Carrie, did you
offer
start
feature.
when I started eBay? Almost everything I did was on auction. I sold jeans
Dude,
by the hundreds.
Here's
on
the thing about
auction.
auctions. They're still huge with sports cards. I'm actually kind of doing some anytime whatnot auctions for cards.
Well, you're doing some on Dibdit, and they're getting.
I'm doing some. I'm going to start doing some card ones on. I want to actually get into that a little more. It'd be an interesting thing to try, and maybe encourage other people to do as well, especially on Dibdit. But I've had success. I have one on whatnot that's about where I would expect it in a regular auction, and it's just like a 3-day bid. It's kind of fun.
Really?
We'll see how it works. We're trying new things. I'm trying to just diversify myself because I'm all about diversification and adjustments and zigging when other people are zagging.
Somebody said the land of chimpanzees. I was a monkey. All right.
Dude, that sounds like something very deep. Is that from some book or something?
Some part of my brain broke with all the sports talk, and I'm like, just
well, you're the
over
one
here,
that
like,
was
what's-
perpetuating.
I know.
it.
I was trying. I was trying to fit in. I was just trying to fit in, guys. I didn't know.
You don't even know. You were bad at all the sports questions I gave you earlier too. You don't even know what team, like what sport the teams are in. Like I'll say Pittsburgh Steelers, and you're like hockey.
So, Dave, are you back up sourcing again, full time?
Well, I would like to go tomorrow, but I've decided not to because I have too much to do. I'm going camping this weekend. I got to do a bunch of stuff to get ready for that.
You're going with Mike.
Yeah, meeting up with Mike tomorrow. We're gonna just
Playing
talk trash
dominoes.
about you the whole time. I should bring dominoes. That'd be
Dominoes
fun.
with Mike.
The main goal is to talk trash about Kevin the whole time. That's number one priority. Maybe I should go buy dominoes. That's a good idea. I bet they sell it at Walmart. Mike could play with me probably. Mike, will you play dominoes with me?
Yeah.
You should play Uno.
But no, it's,
Uno can get a little bit violent.
A little
though,
bit
at
risque,
times.
yeah. I should pack some games though. But no, I got to pack for that, and I'm gonna head out at like 11 or noon, and so I just decided not to. The yard sales are so bad right now in Florida. But Kevin, the reason we're recording this podcast really is because Monday is Labor Day, and Labor Day at the Webster is supposed to be off the chain,
that's right.
bro. Off
That's
the
right.
chain.
Haven't you been on Labor Day?
Yeah, I've been on
Yeah.
Labor Day, and it is off the chain. But Memorial Day was. I didn't even go Memorial Day. I haven't been to the Webster since like.
I think you're
May,
supposed to say that
April?
it's.
April. No, May.
I think you're supposed to say that
I
it's
don't
Sigma.
know.
I think that's
It's
people
Sigma,
listening would,
yeah. It's
they would
Sigma,
definitely
Riz,
relate to that.
Demure,
We have a demo
Comfy.
of mostly 18 to 24-year-olds who listen to this podcast.
Yeah. Well, anyways, it's supposed to be really good, and I'm very excited about it. And it'll be my first chance to really source some stuff. I might source some stuff for Dibdit. Now that I know kind of my baseline is about 10% of eBay value, I can kind of use that to price
That's
when I'm
not
buying
true.
stuff.
That's not true.
I'm looking forward to
Dude,
looking
that He-Man lot you had, it had a few more. It had a few more of the bigger things in it. But I have a He-Man lot almost identical to it, listed for $50 right now on eBay. It hadn't sold.
Oh, really? That many pieces?
It was a bunch.
So it's a big lot. You know, the best
bunch.
place for a big lot is.
I'll look it up.
I don't think there's.
How many?
Yeah, if you have a
pieces
big
did
lot, you should put it on dibdit.com and start it at $2. That's the best place for people.
Yeah, that's
to
the best
sell.
You could have got
sell
that
large
lots.
lots.
Just saying, paid and shit.
Could have gotten what?
Waiting orders. Yes, you could have got.
We're
it
gonna
on
bleep
Dibdit.
that out, correct?
Yeah.
Order
Yes, absolutely. We're not.
Here's the
That is
audio. I'll do it.
unallowed.
Dibdit.com.
Carrie, so I think you did recently a video on your American Arbitrage video or channel, right?
Yeah. Like
Tell us a
9
little
days
about
ago.
how that's doing.
Oh, my videos on that channel are doing great, but I'm just having a hard time concentrating on that because I'm doing so many ticky-tackies, which you guys are TikTok daddies.
But you're doing
now. You guys are making
TikToks-
a lot of money on TikTok.
Look,
You're doing
right now.
TikToks.
That's like a
for
side
cards.
gig.
For cards. Like you're doing TikToks for cards. Do you even do
I've
them
made
for,
more
like,
money
thrift
on my
stores?
main channel this month than my card channel, but I'm just doing repurposed IO stuff. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
using my stuff from when I was in January at your place. I'm
Okay.
re-uploading. We haven't, and part of the problem too is we're trying to liquidate. So going to a thrift store, we probably will do a couple times, but we're trying not to buy too much for. We'll do cards because I'm doing whatnot auctions and stuff on them, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll do a little bit, but.
Is
I
the
have a lot
garage
of
sale
footage from
season kind of
127,
dead
which
right
I
now?
refuse to edit. That's my problem.
Oh yeah, that's right. You do have all that footage.
I need to do it.
Huh?
10
But-
figures. Dave.
Motivate
That's all
me,
mine
motivate
is.
me.
10
10
figures.
figures.
But it hasn't sold yet.
Yeah. Well, that was I've had those listed for about I think I had it listed for like 100 on eBay for like a month.
And
I'm
it sold
like,
for 58, and that's
50.
as 10%.
I think it sold for 50 even on
50.
Dibdit. Yeah.
Okay.
So about half what I had it on eBay for. I think it would have sold eventually on eBay. It was a good
Yeah.
little
Oh,
win.
no doubt. No doubt. No
I
doubt
paid
about it.
I paid 20 for it, so that's fine.
That's really like what Whatnot and Dibdit's tagline should be. You could get money now or sell it eventually
For more later.
elsewhere.
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's like,
pretty much.
what's
But like,
that
it's also
commercial?
debatable because you're going to take offers and you might
J.G.
eventually sell it for
Wentworth.
more. Yeah,
You ever heard
Wentworth.
J.G. Wentworth?
Yeah, I have a structured settlement and
Yeah.
I need cash now. Call JG
That's
Wentworth.
awesome. Yeah, like
877 cash now.
you have like $100,000 because you got hit by a car and they'll give you like $1,500 up front. And they'll
$13,000.
take the rest from
No,
you.
no, Carrie, they'll give you $13.5
This would be
thousand.
Carrie 2 or 3 weeks ago. I got this Caitlin card. I was like, we'll give you $100 for it now. We'll give you
Carrie,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a guy literally when I pulled that next to me. You know, he was like, "You want to sell that?" You know, he had that tone where I didn't appreciate it.
It's
No, he
ending
was a
on
nice
it's
guy,
ending
but-
on Labor
If
Day.
Carrie,
Right?
if he would have showed you $10,000, you'd have taken it.
I don't
Carrie's
think we would've.
card. Carrie's
Really?
card is
I'm-
ending.
Maybe because we weren't educated.
Don
enough.
would have.
I don't know if I would have, but Don might have been like, "Guess what, Carrie? We're taking that $10,000. We're
Does she get
investing
any
it."
money? She doesn't get any money for the cards, or she does. She gets money from like when it's originally sold, but no part of like the big sales or resale, obviously.
You talking about Don?
No, Caitlin Clark. Like when they sell sports cards of players.
Don gets all
When they-
of my money. If that's your
How
question,
does that
She
like?
takes
Do
it.
they get their $1 million contracts and then they're allowed to make as many sports cards as they want? They don't get any royalties from selling
They
sports
get
cards.
a
or they do?
contract
Depends
through
on
the
the contract.
WNBA Players Association. So whatever that is, and then they can do. I think they can do like autograph contracts that are separate that go for big money. So Caitlin's making a lot of money on her cards, especially the autograph ones. But she's
Dude.
making a lot of money on everything she's doing. She's
But-
making a ton.
There's probably some through there, but there was a whole set. There was a whole. You opened a Caitlin Clark. It was
Box,
just
yeah.
Caitlin Clark.
Yeah, and I'm
I
sure she
guarantee
signed
they're
an
not-
individual deal. Yeah, with
Yeah,
that.
yeah, got it. I mean,
But there's
That
like
would be
general
brutal.
products that come out every year, like WNBA Prism,
Mhm.
that the association is a part of. But she probably does extra deals because she can.
well, if
But
you remember,
she's
Jordan,
really responsible for making this whole move. Like literally, her
remember-
play is responsible for me making
Yeah.
this move. Much
back
easier.
in the day, and you'll still come across stuff that was bull stuff that has everybody but Jordan on it.
Here's the
He
thing
didn't do
that's
it, like,
interesting.
pennants
Yeah,
and stuff,
Jordan
and-
did
Wow.
not. This is interesting. You might even find this interesting, Dave. Like Jordan stopped having a contract with the main people that had the licenses in like 2009, 2010. Upper Deck has a license, but they don't have the NBA license, so they can't show him in a Bulls uniform. They show him in like business suits. It's weird. But anyway, the or Panini put him in the background of a card, a Dennis Rodman card, I believe, and he was in the background cheering, and they got sued. Because
Really?
Even though he
By
wasn't
him?
because people were buying that card for more because it had a Jordan. Like, there's a lot of stuff like that. And they've gotten sued. I
Oh,
think they've
that's
gotten
right.
sued
Wasn't
allegedly
there
a few times for that. Because I'm not
wasn't
sure.
there a
100%.
card that had the Menendez brothers sitting in the
Yes, that's the
audience?
1990-91 NBA hoops card. It's Mark
That's what
Jackson,
it was. Yeah.
and it's not only the Menendez brothers, but what's fascinating or crazy about that story, they're on the front row. The only reason they could afford the front row is because they just took their parents'
Whack their
money
parents.
after they
Not
killed
funny.
their parents. So it was
Yeah.
like in between the time it was during when they were on the run, and they're in the
Carrie, on
background in the
social
front
media,
row.
we say they unalived their parents.
Yeah, we unalived.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
can you
unalived
believe
their
that? Here, I'll do it, and you could dub this
Bleep it
over.
out. Okay, go.
Unalived.
Beeped. Did you watch Hustle at Home's mom's video?
I watched
she
part
put
of
No.
that.
out?
Yeah.
I watched a good part of it. It was
It makes me
honest,
want to start finding
What
out
is
and
it?
taking care of my kids more.
an honest video I've dreaded making. She basically saw Paul's video did good and copied it. No.
Oh my gosh. I hate that that's kind of what I thought too for half a second.
I don't
and then,
think she watches Paul's videos, so I think she's good.
well, for the record, Paul
Well,
made
she
the
knows
video because
Paul.
nobody's
I'm
watching
sitting at
Paul's
a table
videos,
with
right?
her and Paul at the
That's
Allegedly.
true.
FlipCon.
That's true.
Yeah.
No, it was very similar to Paul's though, honestly. It was just talking about balancing reselling and content creation and all the other things that you're doing and how hard it is in parenting, right? And parenting as well. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's an interesting topic, but it's I'm just gonna burn myself out till the candle's completely gone. That's my
You're
goal in
not going
life.
to burn out. You like it too. You like the hustle too much.
I do like to hustle.
You
I'm
do.
uncomfortable if I sit and do nothing.
You're like a hustle
so.
at home dad.
I'm a hustle home dad. That's right. Yeah, I'm a hustle home
Because you're at
dad.
home, you're hustling.
Also, like,
channel,
I will say she is like, in Tina's role in our family, meaning that she's the one who's like doing the homeschool and things like that, and I'm not doing that.
You're just like at
So,
theme
it's
parks,
a little
like
different.
5 days a week. And then
I
you do
did
some
go to the
videos in
theme park.
between.
I went to the theme park yesterday, I think. Was that
See?
yesterday? Yeah, I did, yeah. I did go there yesterday.
She's holding the fort down, and you're like,
and I'm at
I'm gonna
theme
go
parks,
by
yeah.
myself.
But if you're with your kids, homeschooling is anywhere. You can.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm serious.
Well, okay, so listen, the theme park, that's an office day. That's just, hey, honey, I'm running to the office, and I should go over to the
I'm gonna go
Universal,
focus
and
on
I
the one
filmed
channel
3
that's not
videos.
making any money.
I'm gonna spend all my time on the one channel that's losing money. Like literally, it's a financial suck on my life, and that's the one I want to spend the most time on because I'm just, you know what it is. I like to try to like bring it to life. It's like
that's
the thrill of trying
You're
to
a
make it
creator.
happen. Yeah,
that's kind of what I did with Dib Dit. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna make this work without these two.
and it's like
That's
you with all
kinda
your
what I
side
did.
chicks. It's
now
all your
I'm
side
the
chicks.
number
You like
one
that
person on
first-
Dibdit right now. I looked at the list. I'm in
Kevin
first
likes that
on the leaderboard.
flirtatious stage when he's dating a girl more than like the long-term marriage stuff. Like it's similar to that, right? He's flirting with Dibdit.
Kevin,
I tell you though, there is something to be said about that, and I know each of you struggle with this too. You get obsessed with different things,
The new
and
shiny
it's
thing.
the ROI on some stuff, and that's one thing I've been able to do is there's every single week there's 2 pickers, 2 or 3 flippers. There's so much that it gets done, period, and I like it. But the other stuff, it's like, man, I want this to work. I want to do this. I want to do that, and it takes away from other stuff.
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
the thrill. It's
Like
the
this
thrill of like
podcast.
proving. It's like a thrill of proving it to yourself. Like I can make a podcast that's moderately successful, and I'm gonna work it until I do.
Look, we've worked our fingers to the bone to be the 85th ranked podcast in Uruguay right now. So
Yeah.
to all our
Yeah, sure.
Uruguayan followers, gracias.
Well, I
por
think a
su
lot of
tiempo.
people though so here's the struggle. You have to be if you want to be that kind of person who's constantly chasing a new exciting thing. You also have to be the kind of person who will stick
Maintains
with it.
the things that are making money.
Stick with it once it starts succeeding, right? And so
Or
so
come
many
back to it when
people-
it starts making money, like TikTok, Dave.
Yes. Yeah, well, yeah, that's exactly right. So TikTok has started
I've been telling you for like 6 months.
Well, you have, but no. Okay, so my problem was always the same. It's finally started letting me make the videos I want to make, which is basically long form but shorter. Like they're not as flashy jump cut stuff.
6 months ago.
Well, I don't know if they would have worked 6 months ago because I didn't try them. But they're not. It's not relying so much on jump cut stuff like kid editing, right? It's allowing you to just do. It's allowing you to just be kind of like a lazy editor, which is what I do on all my channels.
Because that's all I'm doing. I'm just taking my videos I normally do. Instead of doing 7 yard sales on a video, I just cut it down to 1 and cut it and put it up there, and it's working.
And I've
Finally.
spent 10 days at it, and I've made hundreds of dollars. And so I did like the hourly rate. You know, it's not always going to be like
I feel
that.
like it's booming on that end right now because I'm literally just reposting stuff and my TikTok's blowing up too on my main
it's
channel.
yard sale season. You've told me that it's always, you know, seasonal, the yard sale content on there. So I think that's why it's doing well right now. But no, it's, you know, I think I did the math as like $200 an hour for the effort I'm putting into it. And that's like a crazy good rate. I'm more than happy to do something if it's going to bring me 200 an hour. So,
Kevin would hire somebody to do that for him at that rate.
Yeah.
Who
so
wouldn't?
I've been putting effort
That's
into
what I'm
it
saying.
because
That's
it's
how
paying.
good it is.
Yeah. Who wouldn't? That's a no-brainer.
I didn't think through what I said, Kevin. I just said words. It didn't make sense.
Speaking of, though, my Flipper channel is growing. It's the growth of my Flipper channel has surpassed my Picker channel.
I think I've got 200 new subscribers on my Flipper channel this month, so that's pretty good.
Well, when you disconnect from them, that's what you deserve.
Yeah, no,
I had
that's
1,700 on Flipper this time. 1,700.
Really? Just making like scare tactic, the sky is falling type videos about reselling.
Look at my title.
Let's look at your titles. That's a good idea.
You know what I love about Kevin? He's always leaving. Every time he starts a video, he's leaving one of his sheds. He's always leaving a shed. He's leaving a shed like he just thought to talk about something right at that moment. It's actually smart.
It's Mr. Rogers. You got to have the walk up and just take the
you're like
sweater
Mr.
off.
Rogers with the sordid past.
You heard him just like try to deny that he's a sky is falling, reselling channel. These are his titles,
please.
This is a tough pill to swallow for eBay resellers. This has drastically changed my eBay business.
That's not skies falling.
Yeah, well, but people don't
vague
like change.
As hell is what
people don't like change, Kevin. So it is. When is enough for resellers? The end is near for resellers. Time to get to work. Frustrated eBay sellers need to hear
this. Time to get to work.
Whatnot is hurting eBay sellers. YouTube versus eBay, which makes more money? eBay pulled this off the site in minutes.
Hey, you know what I got?
What?
Old news. Somebody's like, that video didn't perform well, and they're like, yeah, this is like a video you should put out 3 years ago. The Whatnot eBay versus Whatnot.
I never see a video of Kevin going like, you guys are doing good enough. Keep it up.
It's never positive. It's always negative.
The video. When is enough? That's what that video was about.
Why don't you just say it in the title so we know that we feel...
I did. When is enough?
Like this new one you just dropped, I'm a fake reseller. What is that even about? I don't even know. What's that? What's that even mean?
That is true, though. That is interesting that he would be so self-aware. That's all the Gary Vee you've been watching. You're gaining in self-awareness.
Gary Vee stuff has been showing up a lot on my For You page lately. I must have interacted.
You know why?
With something.
Because he's talking an awful lot about attention
AI.
Media, and
he's talking
a little bit about it. Yeah, he's talking about AI and the changes and some of the things we've been talking about, like clicking your screen and buying whatever and stuff like that.
That was my idea originally. They're stealing it. I'm gonna probably sue them.
I came up with the Apple Newton when I was 9 years old, and it failed, so I stopped trying.
Every time you can't even say any old Apple computer, I just instantly think of the yard sale where the old guy had it, and the little old lady, his wife, was just farting the whole time while I was at the yard sale. Just
about excuse me, about 20. And it's got to be 23 years ago. I went into this shop right down by my school. The guy, it was having a yard sale. And I opened up, it's a skinny little shop. And it was full of nothing but vintage computers. I mean, it had the Apples and all that stuff in there. And back then, it wasn't selling that well.
Yeah.
And I picked up, 8 or 9 things that were selling at the time. If that little, it was like a giant closet, but it was stuffed.
Were you writing the stuff down?
Hundreds
and going home to look it up?
Yeah.
In 2001,
the school was right down the road, so I actually went back down to the school. Came back down to the sale. Yeah. I used to write stuff down. I used to write stuff down at yard sales and go home and then go back to the yard sale.
Wow. Let's talk about OG resellers and stuff. Because, that you were really there, Kevin. We were all reselling 15, 20 years ago.
Oh, reselling. I thought you meant YouTube.
But you were doing it much more hardcore than I was.
Yeah, you
were. I feel like because you've said you needed it really bad. You were desperately. You weren't doing it for a hobby.
You were elbowing people to get deals for 20 years plus.
but at the time, needed it really bad was I needed $800 more to live, right? A
Yeah.
month. So
That's
I
not
wouldn't say
nothing.
that was like,
Sounds
no,
pretty-
I mean, I was
pretty
selling it. I
desperate.
That's
was
half a
working
cart
at
of
it.
groceries at Publix now.
Yeah. But it's not like I was doing 100K a year or
Yeah.
200K a year back then.
But
That's not what I was doing.
okay,
But I
so
was doing okay.
everyone always talks about how it was way better back then. There was way more inventory, way less competition,
But it was
but
harder to
there
sell
was
stuff.
way less people buying online, right? So was
Yeah.
it really that much better, or was it
Yeah,
pretty
well,
similar?
there was nowhere to get some stuff back then. So with the stuff, what I was picking back then, like now I could pick 8 million more things than I picked back then because there wasn't a market for it or you didn't know it and you had to do the hard legwork. It's the phone that changed it. But what you would buy, like I would literally go out on a weekend and I would find 10, 15 video game consoles from Atari to Nintendo to Sega to whatever. And I'd have 10 a week. So I was making so much money off that. I never branched out and started picking other stuff.
That was your primary genre then, was gaming?
Yeah, you could find it all over the place. And you could sell it like crazy.
How many more yard sale seasons that we're looking in the past, but in the future, how many yard sale seasons do we have before Phoenix resells like AI robot things are going to be like sprinting to the sales before we can get to them?
Did you watch his video? Did you watch
getting the video games?
He did a video
It's gonna
too.
happen, right?
He did a video about his app. Did you watch it?
Oh, the shopcommons.net or
no, ReNXP sale. He did a video about his app and
is that the
why
one
he's
up
not
or whatever?
been promoting it. Yeah, he hasn't been promoting it and stuff because he said he was investing in bug fixes and stuff. And I didn't really listen to it. I just had ChatGPT summarize it for me, but it sounded interesting.
Well, there's a lot of money on these Amazon sellers, man. I tell you, I've been putting video game consoles and stuff on Dibdit, and they go for decent money.
Yeah.
I just don't want to deal with them. I don't want to test them.
I don't even ask for video games anymore at this point. I ask for golf clubs. That's my main. Like, what is it? What is it you ask for? Do you
Uncle
ask for video
Steve,
games?
he will let me say this. Isn't Uncle Steve primarily almost only golf clubs, 40K, 90-day total.
40K 90-day total. Okay.
Full-time job.
That's his full. No, he has a full-time job. When's he going to retire though?
He should have retired years ago. He's got more money than all of us put together.
Yeah, but he wants that Social Security. He's close, right? He's like 66, 67.
I don't know. I don't understand.
Stop it. He's only like a couple months older than Kevin.
No,
he's in his 50s.
He's my uncle. He's 10 years older than me.
Yeah, well, uncles sometimes are younger than.
He texted me last time I called him in his 60s, so I had to just bring it back. He sent me an angry text about it. Yeah, it's a 57.
I'll see him this weekend.
Did he was he like your best friend growing up, or was he like a parental figure?
Was he? Did he have like a mullet and like those football shirts that were like midriffs that were see through, and like he would like go around in like a one of those like what are they called, eye rocks or something, and then he would like.
He had the hair. He had the hair parted right in the middle. Back then a lot of people parted his hair in the middle. It was pretty cool. Now he was 18 and left for college when I was 8, so it's like
Listen, Uncle Steve, if Kevin really ditches me in November when he was supposed to come down, you come down.
I'm coming to that. I might not see you, but I'm going to.
I'm gonna be in November. I'm gonna be there in November too. So we gotta hang out. We gotta celebrate.
Allegedly.
So, what would you say? What percentage of your stuff have you sold, Kerry? Like not counting cards.
No, yeah, if we're not counting cards, we probably are like 30-40%. Well, maybe 50%. But like we've sold the better stuff. The problem is like we're gonna start seeing the law of diminishing returns. Like we made a decent amount in the first couple weeks, but there's gonna be a lot more lots coming up, so that people will bid basically. So there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of Carrie's bad buys that were Dawn's, but she blames them on me. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of those coming up. So that's a good sales job for the auction. Correct?
So do you feel more room, or I guess you got to ship a bunch?
Yeah, we also, I mean, like my stepdaughter moved to a different apartment here, so we have a whole room that we can use now for organizing.
Dawn is shipping right now, right? Dawn is shipping as we speak.
I don't know. She might be. She's probably just chilling.
Carrie, you know what you should have gotten? You should have gotten the 2024 Topps Chrome Rookie Autograph Superfractor Ellie De La Cruz. That's what you should have gotten.
Yes, that one's at almost 100K right now.
100,000. It's at 116 with the buyer's premium. So,
dude, I mean, my card. There's some things that are different. Like my card is a national exclusive, so you can only get it at the national. Whereas like the Ellie De La Cruz is autographed, so that's a little better. But also, it's like from the flagship like the main product that
How does
everybody's
someone
buying
pull
nationwide.
that? How does someone pull
Just
that?
I mean, just like me, like there's thousands of packs and somebody opens the right
And
one.
it graded a 10.
So do they want? Is it bad? Like if
like
there's
the
a card
lotto.
like that are marquee? Do people know what the marquee cards are before it gets released, or do they find out late? Like,
Oh yeah,
do they
no,
post? So
there's
is it bad if like the first box that gets pulled, somebody posted on
yeah,
social media?
theoretically it is bad, but here's how they hedge that bet. For example, the new Topps Chrome basketball's coming out. Fanatics took over the basketball, everything, but they're still waiting 2 years to get the NBA licenses. So these are unlicensed cards, but they're exclusively allowed to sell Victor Wembanyama autographs. They're the only company that can. So that's a big deal. But what they did is they have a one-of-one autograph of an insert, a one-of-one of the base, a one-of-one of the parallel. So there's like 7 one-of-ones, and then they have more to 2. So they just do a ton of them. There's
So
like a ton
like
of rare cards.
Willy Wonka would not have let the golden tickets all go out in the first batch. You just know he would.
Yeah,
Right?
so I don't know if they I don't know to what degree they do that. I know smaller companies like Leaf, they will make sure that like every box has a decent hit in it.
Isn't
because
Leaf
they
like
collate
Canadian
them.
Donruss or something?
Back in the day, but now it's an American company out of Dallas, I believe. But they actually hand collate the boxes, meaning like they'll take each card and put them in the box so they can make sure you have value in it. But Topps, for as long as it's been around, I think I don't know, like machines
It's randomized.
So Carrie, is
Dave's
it now
interested.
$1,000 to bid? Like you can't bid for less than a
Yeah,
grand?
I think you have to bid at least 1,000 at this point. Yeah.
That's well, hey, I hope it goes up. By the next show, we're gonna know what it sold for, guys.
It's at 15.5.
I mean, like I've heard everything from
It's at
people saying it's
15.5.
going to go for 30 to 20 to more. I mean,
You know what?
I don't
Theoretically,
know.
it could go forever, right?
it
30
could go.
minutes editions,
Well,
right?
there was I think I talked about it last week. The Kobe Bryant autograph was at like 550,000, and then it kept going all the way up. Every half hour, somebody bid, and it ended up at like 1.5 million.
The thing
I
we
mean,
know
that's
for
a
sure
much better
is
card,
it
but
will
still.
go for 15.5, which means you'll have 16K that you can use to move to Florida.
It's going up.
Yeah, it's going to go up.
Up.
I mean, I would be very. I mean, I don't.
Do
I
we
wanna
even
knock on
mention
wood.
that you were on Golden's promo thing?
Yeah, they did a promo sizzle reel for the card, which was awesome, and they tagged me in it finally. Because I
What
sent
did
them
that look like? I
invitations.
didn't see it.
It's on Instagram.
Oh, it's still there? Okay.
Yeah, it's
I'll
still
look it
there.
up.
You can go on my. It's on Cards, American Arbitrage, and it's on Golden. They tagged me
Okay.
on everything.
All
It's
right.
doing good. It's a decent. I mean, it's not my style of reel, so it's not like the kind I usually make, but it's still doing pretty well.
Okay.
It has music and
check that
stuff.
out.
It's more of a like.
Did you watch the latest? There's a lot of reselling podcasts that drop, guys. There's a lot of other shows you could be listening to. They're not quite as
Probably
good, but they're
should.
out there. You got the Clocker Room.
The Locker Room, I
the
think, is still
clickbait.
talking about the meetup for the 4th week
Really?
in a row, is what I assume.
Well, listen, they hate it when we steal their stuff. So their topic of the week is, let's steal it. How to find a
steal it.
balance with reselling in your full-time
do it.
job.
Use
Let's
that
talk
for the title.
Use it. I dare you. I do it. Do it. Just like tweak it barely. See if they notice.
Okay,
And then
so
we
let's
don't
see.
talk about it till right now, and it's a joke.
How do you find a balance, guys? What do you do?
What's
How do you-
what's the title?
How do you find
How
a
to
balance
find a balance
between...
with reselling and your full-time job? You did that for 20 years, Kevin. Go.
Yeah.
Go. Answer that.
I just loved it so much. It did. I
That's
want
good enough.
To
We
come
can
home.
use the title now, correct?
Title's in. We
I
got
just
it.
Title's
want to
in.
come
Locked
home
and loaded.
do it. And my family did it with.
You can
well,
stop now, Dick
They
Kevin.
weren't
It's
around
okay.
when I
We've heard
started.
enough.
But
No, listen, Carrie.
I
people
used to
wanna
drive
know.
my wife crazy though, because I hate shopping. So we go to Walmart and I'd be like retail arbitrage in the place, and then
The
she'd have to like
key-
call me and be like, "Come on."
Kevin, be honest.
What?
The key to success if you're balancing reselling and your day job is find a way to do reselling during your day job without getting caught. Let's be serious.
That is true.
That's what we all did.
Let me tell you, I did it. I had a
did it.
routine. I actually had
Yeah.
a routine. I would list one thing in the morning before I left for school. When I got to school, I would list something. I'd open my computer and it was booting. I'd list something. At lunchtime, I would list 2 or 3 things. In my planning period, I would
Brandon
list 2 or 3
lists when
things.
his kids are taking tests,
Yeah,
right?
totally.
And if his store is doing bad, he
I
makes
did,
him watch a movie, and then he lists.
I had to go back and work like in 2019-ish or whatever,
No,
and I
I
worked
wouldn't
at
do that.
Cricket. I was
Yeah.
at Cricket. I talked about this. I was working at and nobody ever went to Cricket for anything.
Listen.
So I had like 7 hours to just list, and I didn't get
Yeah.
paid for being there.
That was part of the gig. Like I was the National Honor Society. I was the head of the National Honor Society. So I had one less period to teach every day because I handled all that stuff. But it didn't take. It wasn't like teaching a class.
You didn't
And
care.
so they wanted me to do on top, because that was my duty. Every teacher had to do a duty, right? But that was my duty to do that. That was my duty to do that. But because I had a one less period, they wanted to put another one on top of it, and it was lunch. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, this is going to cost me 40, 50, 80 bucks a day because I'm listing during lunchtime. And instead I've got to watch kids. And that was part of the last thing that put me over the top. I'm like,
once they started wanting him to do his job.
Well,
that
look,
was just
no, I always did my job. That's why I got National Honor Society to begin with, because I was doing my job, right? And so they can't pay good teachers more than bad teachers. You just get paid on what level you're at, how many years you've been there. There's no performance. If I was a good teacher, I got paid as much as the worst teacher, period. So the way they could reward good teachers is do things like that. National Honor Society, you get this period off. And when they stop doing that, it's like, forget it.
Well, I know when I was a cable guy, I was just the fastest problem solver in the field. So I would have everything done by 10 a.m. All the jobs that everyone else took to like literally, I would have to go help them with their jobs at like 7 p.m. instead of going home. But what I would do from like 10 till 6 or 7 when they started calling for help, I'd run to every single Kmart, buy up every Metroid Prime trilogy. I'd run to, because I'm in the company van, and you can go and do whatever. That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah, it's from getting electrocuted all those times. It like opens up different pathways, neural pathways in your brain, and allowed you to excel.
There's one person who watches my channel who's it's actually his wife that watches. He's a trucker, and he picks on his routes all the time and brings it all back, and she sells it.
Yeah, so I'm apologizing now to our Wealthy as a Kevin tier and up members, because it took so long for me to remember to mention your names. But there are some people that, are financially contributing to Kevin's lifestyle, and we appreciate it. Yes. Gem Flipper, Who Ate My Chips, Buffin' the Stuff, Craig McLaughlin, Dave Soiled Undies, new member, Dave Soiled Undies.
Thank you.
Alexandria Pickers, Jake Ryder, CJ Benz Finds, The Flipper Skipper, Lady Arbitrage, No Nose Pickers, Brian Sampor Beal, Harry Tornado, Superhero Headquarters, Mike Camparelli, Vintage Sports Flips, Paulsmerch.com, ABC Matt Raisy, Hack Resell, and Logan Murky.
I would love to encourage Soiled Undies, Dave Soiled Undies, to.
Is that real?
No, that's real. Yeah,
up at another $8.
It's big.
Up at another $8, so that can I do the?
He wants you to motivate.
Dave
wait, is he at 30? No, he's only at 25. He's got to pay
another
$8. Carrie would love to encourage my Soiled Undies. You could even get a pair of Soiled Undies from the thrift and just be talking to them.
I might actually go book a ride in a train if that happens.
Maybe print out a picture of my face. Yeah. Kevin, he's talking to his kid, but he can probably hear me. Have you still not listened to the Secret Podcast?
Nope.
Wow.
I didn't know. I would listen to one of them, and it wasn't the right one, because I listened to 20 minutes. I'm like, there's nothing.
It's
on
the one
here.
where it's like.
I think it starts at. Someone said in the comments that it starts at 26 or 28.
And my wife is traveling, and she's like, "Oh, I'm so glad I saved the last 2 podcasts." You really? And so she's going to listen to it. I'm not. What does it matter? She's going because you're just gonna tease me. Agent? We went to the beach and it rained literally every day.
I know.
So she's
like,
we're going back for 3 more days. I'm like, all right.
So I'm not the kind of person who just vacation every weekend, but I will be on vacation this weekend and next weekend and the weekend after. Just so you.
That's why I shut the store down.
I'm technically haven't worked in over a decade, so.
There is something. My brother's coming to town next week, and he will. We're going to Halloween Horror Nights and stuff, and so I'll be goofing off next weekend a little
bit
jealous.
As well. I want to go to that.
Yeah, you can, dude. Get here before the end of October.
Try.
Come on.
I'm gonna try. We might be there in October the way things are looking.
Yeah, do
we
it.
Get that Caitlin Clark money
that cash,
soon.
Dude. You should get that cash and start shopping
you should
around.
Be banking up
September.
Dibdit money. How much you got?
I am, dude. I'm over $2,000 on Dibdit funds
there you
right
go.
now.
Nice. Dibdit pays good,
hey,
guys.
I've been selling. I don't know if you've noticed. I should talk to you later, so I don't get accused. But there's been static sales. And I've been selling static
on shopcommons.net.
No, on Dibdit.
Everything that lists on Shop Commons doesn't move.
I've never sold a thing.
You've listed 2 things, Dave.
Yeah, and it's a horrible website.
If you